Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to see a link to the article that the JRC does not want you to read. It was written by a non-for-profit by the name of NeuroClastic, started by autistics for autistics. The article over which the JRC has threatened this small non for profit who makes less than $10,000 in revenue per year with a defamation lawsuit. So, because we are salty, one, and because number two, they're threatening lawsuit over it, they're scared. Please read that article and share on all social media. Make it viral. We also have their public statement on the JRC's threat, as well as down at the very bottom of the description box, their GoFundMe that was set up by one of us to assist with any legal fees that they might have should the JRC decide to see through their threat. Please share that on all your social media, and if you can give anything, we would deeply appreciate it. We have also the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive, huge archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. You're also going to hear curse words because I was raised by a military veteran who's also a truck driver. So, yeah. Use your headphones, all right? If you got young children present, please. Also, it is 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I'm a little bit more awake, but still, if I stumble over my words, we all know how I can get. Apologies in advance, all right? Also, we rant often. We rant almost every single day on these videos, so warning. We also flip the bird. If these are the kinds of things that offend you, please feel free to not watch the videos. You can still get the information from the description box. Please go and see the links, okay? Okay, so where we left off yesterday, shaping or other behavioral techniques for increasing positive social behavior. Yeah, shocking me is going to cause positive behavior. Those of us who've lived under corporal punishment know one thing. You'll only do enough to not get punished. That's not positive, folks. Just saying. One of the JRC's major approaches is to develop program teaching systems that accomplish the goals of shaping in a series of carefully graded steps, each which can be measured objectively. Every time I hear shaping, forming, it sounds like brainwashing through negative reinforcement to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but places like this don't seem to encourage individuality so much as it encourages conformity. The kind of behaviors that make us, a little bit more comfortable to deal with. I don't like behavior modification or any kinds of these terms because it basically means we want you to be like us, or at least pretend to be. It's exhausting to be like y'all, okay? It is beyond exhausting. You have no idea. No idea. We don't like being forced to mask. Eventually, the autistics put under this bullshit rebel. Just saying. This procedure, designed by the JRC clinicians and teachers, carried out by the direct care staff, will teach new skills. Explain to me how stacking popsicle sticks is supposed to assist me in the real world, JRC. or how identifying shapes is going to assist me in living independently on my own successfully, which you claim is your goal. It doesn't. It's infantilizing. It's giving us busy work that has no actual value. Not in the real world, not in developing skills, not in anything. But moving further, a good example of this is our system to teach nonverbal children how to request things by exchanging a photo card for the item instead of trying to obtain them through aggressive, disruptive, or problematic behaviors. Really? Because from what I've heard from the other victims and the New York report is that you don't encourage communication at all unless it's verbal. And then you want him to basically give you a whole fucking soliloquy as an answer when 2 words would suffice. Not to mention, we'll use photo cards. You all get millions on our fucking backs every year. And you're going to tell me you can't afford more technologically advanced assistive devices? My God, where I live in bumfuck Missouri. I live in bumfuck goddamn Missouri, with coming from some of the most poorest school districts in the nation. And even they have more technologically advanced assistive equipment than apparently the JRC does. So where is that money going, JRC? Where is that money actually going if you're using photo cards instead of actual assistive devices to assist in communication? By programming the teaching in a sequence of carefully planned steps, each of which builds on the previous step, we accomplish change in the topography of behavior. Do you? Then why, if you take the device off of the student, do they revert? You're not accomplishing anything. Just saying. Moving on. Sorry, allergies. Teachers do not necessarily receive additional training in educational supports. If the NYSED visitors had reviewed our training manual or discussed this with our director of training or director of education, they would have become aware that we do provide additional training for our teachers and that ongoing training is provided by our QC staff. In other words, not good enough, JRC. Why is all the training done within your halls? Do you have any idea how difficult that is to monitor for the state? They keep saying, but if you just review and if you just listen to us and ask you questions, no, we're fucking done. We're done asking questions, JRC. We have given you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for over 3 fucking decades to be able to answer to why you are not up to state standards. Time and motherfucking time again, and school closing after school closing. You have consistently not met state requirements in your own state over and over and over again, and goddamn it, we're tired of giving you mulligans. Our patience has run out. So no, we're not just going to take your answers for it. We're not going to say that, just trust me, bruh. They're trained. Just trust me, bruh. It's good enough. All right? Done. When you want to try and tell me that 2 weeks is good enough to train direct care staff, and then you're going to tell me, oh, but we do the additional training for our teachers. You have to forgive me if I don't think that it is probably up to state standards. Okay? Our training policy clearly states that training is provided to all staff on the curriculum frameworks, both Massachusetts and New York. But just because it's written in the manual doesn't mean you actually do it. Can I say that again for the idiots in the fucking back? Just because you have it written in your fucking manual doesn't mean you actually do it. New York came to be eyewitnesses to your program. They did not see what you're claiming you implement being implemented with their own eyes. They are basing their report off of eyewitness and logic. But moving forward, additional training is provided typically a month after being on schedule. Teachers have weekly to bi-weekly in-services to review educational policies and procedures, and the education supervisors also work with the teachers for their first 3 planning days. Again, in-house, 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 in-house. You're hearing this, right? You have proved time and a fucking again that in-house is not good enough. So answering in-house to every challenge is not winning the argument. Additional training is given to staff according to the department they work in. Training consists of workshops, seminars, classes, online tutor training, one-on-one training, behavioral training, etc. In-house. So you have to forgive me if I don't trust you. Unfortunately, the NYSED officials were not given any of this information since they refused on several occasions to receive a tour explanation from the JRC staff because they don't want to listen to your lies. They are not going to rely on you, JRC, because you have proved time and again that you cannot be fucking trusted to tell the truth. That's why these types of investigations happen, folks. When you get that many abuse reports from a single program, you send people like me in from the state departments, okay? Our job is not to ask you fucking questions. It is past the time of questions when we get sent in, okay? By the time New York was sent in, the time of getting information from the JRC was already over. Over. We're not going to let you backpedal and try to talk us out of doing our fucking jobs. The time for talking and providing information is long fucking past at that point. We're long past, just trust me, bruh. See all our beautiful paperwork? No, we're past that point. When we come in to do an unannounced visit and investigation, no, we don't want to hear what you have to say. You've had years to have your say. Now we want to come in and see with our own eyes, what the fuck is actually going on. And we don't want it tainted by your bullshit answers. Just saying. QA team members do not necessarily receive training on behavioral analysis. They receive substantial and constant ongoing in-service as explained in paragraph 45 and 51 above and do not need any training in that area. Again, how JRC says, but they don't need to be trained. Are they supervising direct care staff? You said in a previous part of this report that QC closely monitors direct care staff. If direct care staff is not trained and QA who oversees them is not trained, who the fuck is trained? Oh, you're going to tell me the clinician. The clinician who's never fucking there but about once a month. Not good enough, JRC. Not good enough. They are knowledgeable about JRC treatment systems and how they should be carried out as designed by the clinicians. Again, telling me they're brainwashed and know how we run things. Everything's done in-house. Everything's about how we do things. Nothing to confront the fact that New York says you are not meeting your own state standards, let alone those of New York. You are committing inhumane cruelty on people with disabilities. You're not paying attention to food and safety standards. The list fucking goes on, and you keep answering with this moronic bullshit. But moving on. This June report asserts that families are not trained how to use the GED on home visits, and therefore the JRD has no idea whether or not the treatment is being implemented correctly or not. No, it didn't. In fact, New York insisted that you using the device was inhumane and cruel beyond all fucking reason. So now you're going to tell us how you use the device correctly to torture us. Well, aren't I just giddy with joy for you, you sick fucks? JRC requires all parents, guardians to successfully complete comprehensive training on how to use GED before they are allowed to take the devices home with them. They bring home recording sheets and return with recorded data, and the JRC clinicians check the data and review the home visit with the parent to confirm that the device was used properly and consistently. You sick fucks. These kids can't even fucking go home without being tortured. They're not safe at home. They're not safe at school. And people fucking wonder why people like Jennifer Masumba contemplated suicide seriously. The review team unfortunately did not speak to any parents to elicit their experiences with success with the program or with their child, all in effective treatment that their child endured before coming to the JRC, and their competence and dedication to continuing the JRC's treatment program while the students on home visits. Now, actually, New York did consult parents. They spoke with Andre McCollin's mother. They spoke with the mother that sued the JRC for inhumane treatment of her son, who went to hospital and had to get treated for 3-degree burns in the ER. They did talk to parents, just not the parents you wanted them to talk to. The June report states that the lack of specific data regarding the home use of the GED suggests that the court's mandate for reporting may be compromised. The parent has a recording sheet and marks on the recording sheet the number of applications his or her child receives. At the conclusion of how the home visit and the recording sheet returns to the school when the visit is over, the parent is contacted in person or via telephone. The parent gives immediate access to the JRC's clinician and other JRC administrators who can be called in a case of question that arises during a home visit. A member of the JRC treatment team checks on them during the home visit to confirm that everything's going well. I'm sorry, but any person who willingly sends their kid to this hellhole should have their child removed. But when you are given this device and you are told to shock your child and ignore their screams, you don't deserve to be a parent. This is what I'm finding disturbing about this part here. So not only does the JRC insist that a student be tortured for stopping work for more than 3 minutes inside the school and earning every bite of food, being attacked at random by staff to provoke behaviors, and depriving them of sleep, forcing them to wear those devices even in the fucking showers. And I'm sorry, JRC, holding the arm out with the device outside of the shower is not fucking good enough. No. On home visits, they expect the parents to continue the abuse and the torture. Think about that, folks. Think of the horror those kids never, ever get to escape. Now, on that note, I'm going to close out for this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject, and the few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.